Hello everyone, Jacuz4 here. Today I'll be affecting a short-term solution to Smith & Wesson's quality control, or lack thereof, regarding gun sight paint. Now don't get me wrong, Smith & Wesson makes a fine product in the M&P, and I am more than satisfied with my purchase, as many others are. However, like many others, I have experienced the one flaw that seems to be pervasive with this particular firearm, and that is the problem of the white dot falling out of the front sight. Now, I haven't had a lot of handguns. In fact, this is my first one, so maybe this is a common occurrence with all guns. I want to be fair to Smith & Wesson. As they explained to me, I guess a little bit of oil residue was left behind, and so the paint didn't have a good adhesion. Anyway, mine fell out at approximately the 300-round count after calling Smith & Wesson, decided to take matters into my own hands. Apparently, as an M&P owner, you have three choices. Send the gun back to them, have them send you a new sight and you pay a gunsmith to press fit it, or you simply paint it. I opted to paint it and have them send me a sight. Can't have too many sights, I guess. Why not, if they're going to send it to me for free? It's my hope that they'll surprise me with the Novaks, like a few other people have gotten, but I'm not going to hold my breath. In the meantime, I've decided to use a lacquer nail polish and an easy-to-see bright orange for the front sight. So let's get started and go over a couple of things. I've got a couple of napkins here just to try to keep the mess to a minimum. I went out to CVS and picked up some of this bright orange lacquer nail polish. I've got a couple of, what do you call these things? Cotton swabs, but they're very specialized with a very narrow tip. You can see. I think that's going to do very well for me. Never done this before, so let's give it a shot. And the first thing we'll do is disassemble the firearm. And that's pretty simple to do. We're just going to remove the tool. Take a look, see in here. Drop down the sear retention pin if we can find it. Okay, that's down. Oh, try that again. Looks like I put it back. Okay. Remove the slide to make it a little bit easier. Let's have a look. You can see the dot is gone. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of alcohol and make sure there's nothing left in there to keep the nail polish from curing properly, or adhering to the surface, I guess you'd say. And it shouldn't take very long. We're just going to kind of ream it out, for lack of a better word, and then we'll dry it. Let's get a little light on there, get a closer look. It looks like we've got a little bit more in there. There's one little piece of paint left in there that we want to get rid of. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now, next thing we're going to do, shake this up. I guess that's what my wife told me I needed to do. It's a lot like a can of spray paint. Let's put the cap back on the rubbing alcohol. I was going to use Break Free, but my wife told me to use alcohol, and I'm going to trust her since she's got more experience with this stuff than I do. I'm going to open this up. I think we'll shake it up a little bit more. And then a little dab will do you. And I think that's too much. So what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to get another Q-tip. And I think I'm going to just make a little puddle. And I'm just going to dip into it for better control. See how this works out. And I'm just going to take just a dab. Hopefully I have the fine motor skill capability to do this. And then what we're going to do is just go right dead center with it. and then remove it. Okay, so I didn't use enough. It actually was absorbed into the Q-tip. So let's try again with a little bit more and see how we do. Well, it's not working out very well. Well, got a little bit in there. Let's continue. Trial and error, first time doing this, ladies and gents. Well, that is not working to my expectations. So my next thought, instead of using a Q-tip, is to... I wish I could use an eyedropper of some sort. Let's think about this for a second. Well, let's try the soaked tip and see what happens. That's not working out too well either. Alright, we're going to shut this down for a second. I'm going to go get something. I've got an idea. Okay, I've done some practicing with some assistance from my wife, and we're going to try the little dabble-do-ya method using the actual brush. Remember, I'm trying different things because I've never done this before. So let's try that. And let that kind of drop in there. And that appears to have worked quite nicely. Now if there's a way, I wish there was a way that I could clean around the edges. I'm going to try that so it looks nice and clean. Close. I think we'll let it dry, and then I'll clean the outside with break free. One more little drop in there so that it's even. Yeah, that looks pretty even. So we're going to, if you can see, I'm going to move the camera because I want it to stay flat. Let that dry, and then I'll clean the outer edge. But it looks like that worked. A lot harder than it looks, at least for someone like me. I've got 20/10 vision, so I'm really good long range, but boy, close up is kind of a bear for me. But I think that's going to stand out pretty well. It's not quite as bright as I thought it would be once it hits the gunmetal, but I think it will suffice. I can always remove it, I guess, and try again. So let's see how that works. We'll let it dry off, and then I'll clean the outer edges to make it look real professional. And then we'll put it back on the gun and see how things look. Okay, that worked out pretty well. And I'll zoom in on it a little bit, you can see. So it just needs a steady hand and time to dry, and then a little bit of break free on a swab to clean off the edges. And I think it came out pretty good. So let's put it back on the slide. Put the slide back on, and we'll look down the sights and check the visibility. Yeah, I'd say that worked out pretty good.